This is the Pimax Portal, a pretty impressive handheld device with a long list of features that I just haven't seen before. I've had it for 3 weeks now and it's been difficult to think about a video on it because every time I test something I realize all the possibilities, so I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as possible. But the main kicker to keep you interested is that this is a 4K QLED screen, and yes, it is a touchscreen too. Alright, quick unboxing. I really like the presentation of this product. Everything feels premium. You really feel like you're unboxing something really cool. And once it's out of the box and you removed all the protective film, you're gonna start noticing some impressive features. You're gonna see not one, but 3 cameras on the back. You'll also see the Pimax logo with that cool honeycomb pattern. And what we're seeing in there, I believe, is the fan, if that's any indication of how powerful this thing is gonna be. Something that I miss is that on the top, next to the power button, there's actually an SD card slot, similar to what you would find on a smartphone. It charges in USB-C and the controllers are removable, but the way they are removable is super practical because it's just very powerful magnets that just slap back in. Oh, it's so satisfying every single time. And all you have to do is basically tilt it to remove it, and it snaps back in like that. We have our shoulder buttons, and it's maybe a little harder to communicate, but the triggers are spring-loaded, but at the same time, you get a satisfying click when you reach the end. So that's kind of particular. It's not something that I've ever experienced with trigger buttons like that. You'll also see that each controller has a lot of buttons. Each of them have a joystick, and then you have your normal buttons, but there's also buttons at the top. There's also your start, select, and function buttons. And of course, it is because, yes, you can play multiplayer game with it, and you would hold it like this. And that's where you also reveal that there's additional buttons. So the shoulder buttons are not compromised because we get SL and SR to press. Another thing I didn't catch the first time was the screen protector. This console comes with a screen protector already installed right there. And since it's a touch screen, of course, you're gonna dirty it up like I do. Okay, there's more to the hardware, but let's move on to the software. Let's turn it on. I'm gonna press it and it's gonna tell me to tap the screen 3 times before I can actually use it. Pop, pop, pop. And now I'm in. All right, try my best to find an angle to actually show you what's going on. So when you open it for the first time, you're gonna find the main menu, which looks like this. And of course, you can go through a bunch of apps. And one thing you're gonna realize is that the first one that is shown to you is virtual reality. Yes, this is the first handheld console that is meant to be played in virtual reality. And I don't mean connecting it to your PC or something like that. I do mean you would slide it into a headset, disconnect the controllers, and then boom, you have a VR headset with its own game playing. But unfortunately, I do not have said VR headset, so I can just use the rest of it. I was kind of scared if it was just meant for virtual reality that maybe there wasn't much option for the rest. And then I quickly realized they have their game store where they suggest a bunch of games, including VR games and stuff. But I saw like Xbox. I was like, what? Xbox Game Pass, and then Steam Link, and then PlayStation. So that means this has access to cloud gaming and also a bunch of mobile games, right? And that's their store. If we go back and we go to all apps, you have the Google Play Store in there, which means you can install pretty much whatever you want. It doesn't have to be video games. It can be any type of app. This is actually running a custom version of Android. The processor is a Snapdragon something, so it's basically a combination of a very powerful phone, tablet, console, and standalone VR headset. So yes, with the Google Play Store, it means that I could easily install things like Netflix. I installed Twitch, and it works like a charm. I think the only issues I've had with this was because of my internet, my Wi-Fi being pretty crappy. And sometimes, as you can see, it can take a lot of time to load. But again, since this is running a custom version of Android, maybe you don't realize all the possibilities. That means that anything you want to connect through Bluetooth is going to be like a breeze. It's going to be super easy. Connecting to the internet is going to be super easy. If I swipe on the right here, I have my Wi-Fi. I can put it on airplane mode. I can play around with the volume, also the brightness. It is bright, but it's not super bright. But I also don't have it on the max performance mode so that I can save some battery. But as you can see, yeah, like I'm just watching a stream right now. I can have chat. And again, since this is a touchscreen, I can type and chat just like that if I wanted to. And of course, I can connect a Bluetooth keyboard if I have one. Anyways, I can also manage my applications by swiping up like that, and I can just turn it off. So same thing for Netflix. I also installed Chrome so I can browse on this thing. But of course, it's a handheld console, so probably what you want to see is video games. I don't have a ton of them on there, so they don't all appear here. So this is not all I have. If I go to all applications is where we're gonna see everything. I have the Epic Games Store, Fortnite installed. So it runs Fortnite mobile with no problem whatsoever. I also tried a bunch of other games, a bunch of mobile games. I tried this FPS shooter game, really action-packed and things like that, and it is great. Honestly, like the experience is pretty nice, especially when it's running at 120 Hertz. Something else that has to do with the OS that it's running is that you can sideload applications. So you're not just limited to the App Store. There's a bunch of apps that are not on the App Store that you can load onto this thing. And one of them that I tried is RetroArch. It's basically a retro game emulator, which allows you to play all sorts of retro consoles. For example, I was playing Crash Bandicoot from the PlayStation 1, and it's the full game. It's the exact game. And you can get pretty much any game running on it. But the fan is definitely noticeable, even though it's not loud enough. If you're in public, for example, you're just not gonna hear it at all. If there's anything else playing in the room, if there's any other noise in the room. But right now I notice it because I have my windows closed and it's as silent as possible to record the video. So here I have Fortnite, as you can see, and I can just tap with the touchscreen, or I can actually use the buttons that it tells me. For example, it says Y is to play. I can just boop, and then I play. But anyways, on the bottom right here, you have a little tab for notifications. So it tells you what's been installing, what's done installing, and things like that. Racing Fever is a game that I downloaded. I didn't get the hang of it yet, but it's kind of fun. I have a Sonic game. I have My Friend Pedro. Now here's the thing with My Friend Pedro, for example, or even the Sonic game. It's better if you start by downloading games from their app store, because they'll have a selection of games that work with controllers basically. Games like My Friend Pedro or the Sonic games actually only works with the touch screen, where you just have to swipe to do everything. Same thing for Sonic, and on top of that, Sonic is in portrait mode. That doesn't mean you can't play it. That means that those games don't utilize the controller at all, so you're just holding the device like a tablet and just playing it regularly. So that's something to keep in mind when you're downloading those mobile games. I need to Google a list of games that are compatible with controllers. Alright, games, they work well. Browsing, other apps, Chrome, Netflix, Twitch, all great. You can probably get Spotify, YouTube, and things like that. Now let's talk about Steam Link. Alright, so you can see my Steam on my desktop right now, and this is what happens when you connect it. It's gonna open a big picture. It's gonna say Steam Remote Play is connected, basically. And now I'm basically controlling my PC, and you can see it's like super responsive. Like, this is real time. This is, yeah, there wouldn't be any difference if I actually plugged in a controller. So let's go to library, and here I can see my games. Okay, let's pick a game. Let's go with Impaler. Okay, so this is my internet issue right there. Because my internet is so slow, it's struggling to stream it from the PC to the console. But when it comes to the commands, the controls, everything works. Oh yeah, by the way, my light went off. My Elgato Keylight Mini went off. So if I want to use this as a controller for my PC, I have absolutely no problem whatsoever. There's no delay. I can play easily. But also, fun fact, if I tap the screen, I can shoot. It still controls it as my mouse. You don't want to play like that, but it's a possibility. So if I had better internet, I'm guessing the stream would be smooth, but it's just like, I just don't have that. So yeah, so I don't have the stream, but this is my controller, and it's working really well. All right, that's enough. But of course, that also means that I don't need the screen in this case to just play the game. I can just play with my controllers like that. So if I want to play on my PC, just sitting on the couch, that's an option for me, even though I don't have the streaming option. Now, I really wish I had a good internet connection, but it just won't work for me. Which brings me to another point. The controllers, okay, they're cool. But if I'm using them to control anything else, because there's also apps that allows you to control any other device, I can just do this. And there you go. I have a tiny compact controller. And if I want to pull them apart, I just bloop, just like that. This is so practical. This thing is just so impressive. And if I want to put it back together, there you go. That easy. There is one thing that I wondered. Since it has 3 cameras for inside-out tracking, my question was, can I still use the camera as a normal smartphone-ish camera? So I wanted to download something called Open Camera, which is an app that I know that Android phones will use as opposed to the default one. So in the Play Store, when I go on Open Camera, it just says open, like it's already installed, even though it doesn't show on the list. So if I click open, click OK. It is a pretty decent camera. It has a wide angle, but it's really not bad. It seems like a 1080p 60 FPS at least. And I don't have the headset, but I wonder if there's pass-through. So that's a possibility. This thing is so awesome that you can use that one camera as a proper camera. You can take selfies with it if you want to. Let me show you. Look at that. Can your handheld console do this? I don't think so. This is so cool. And by the way, we use the software Open Camera usually because we want more control over our smartphone camera, for example, especially if you're trying to do DIY filmmaking using a phone. So that's the software that's pretty much pre-installed on this thing. I also found this thing called PC Remote. If I just want to control my PC in general with this, my PC is connected to my TV. So when I'm in my bed, usually I'm still on my PC, except I need to have a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard, and it's clunky. If I can just use this, have a controller-like setup, plus a touchscreen for me to type stuff, it would be great. Only thing is your PC needs to be on the same local network. Right now, it is connected, and I am controlling my computer. Again, real time, really fast, and I can do whatever. I can just use this as a touchpad. I have my right click, my left click. I even have the double finger scroll thing if I wanted to, or just the side scroll. I have left click, right click, middle mouse button. And if I want to use this just to play games, I also have options for that. But this seems to be more of a touch screen thing, so we don't necessarily use it. When it comes to video games layout, there is a bunch of pre-made ones, as you can see. And again, those are just touchscreen stuff. So technically, this is not something that you need the controller for, but at least I have a tiny little screen, which is now my media controller for my TV, or my PC actually. Isn't that cool? I can just use it to browse. Anyways, I can also pick up the controller by doing this. We have that high quality Roblox gameplay right here. Spec screen brightness and volume are not over exaggerated. This is the brightest it gets. It's not super bright, which means you cannot put it at a brightness where it's uncomfortable. It is always comfortable. When it comes to the sound, also not the best audio, but again, this thing connects to Bluetooth easily. So whatever headset you're using, you don't need an adapter or blah, blah, blah. Just go in your Bluetooth connections, connect your headphones. So it's absolutely practical. Oh, another important part is the USB-C, yes, can transfer video. So if you have the proper cable, maybe USB-C to HDMI or whatever, you can definitely connect this to a screen, to your TV or whatever. So if you want to enjoy your mobile games on a bigger screen, you can do it. And then you can go sit on the couch with the wireless controllers. And yes, that does mean that it is compatible with the XR glasses that I have. But come on now, that's too much, okay? That's too much. We're too much in the future right now. So yeah, that was the Pimax Portal. There are 4 different versions of it, from LCD 2K screens to QLED 4K screens, from 128 gigs internal to 256 gigs. Keep in mind that you can add an SD card, so this doesn't really matter. The entry level doesn't have detachable controllers, but I'll put a link in the description so you can check them out. So if you have any questions or any things that you would want me to test with it, please leave them in the comment section below. I will most likely be posting more about it on my tech channel. So if I come up with any additional cool experiments with it, it'll be posted over there. In the meantime, I gotta say thank you for watching. Go out there, make me proud, get a level, out.